Hi everyone. This is probably my, I don't know, 11th or 12th ENCC event through the years. I've been in the Engaging Networks family for maybe about 8 years now. I've worn a lot of hats for those who know me from my previous Engaging Networks position to being a partner, also being a client. So people will say I wear many hats. I really truly wear many hats. I have a lot of side hustles. I just can't have one job. So, and I keep on saying yes to having different partners and doing different things. So yeah, a little bit about me. I have been in the nonprofit space for, gosh, that ages me about 20 years. So hello everyone to all those who are new and all the familiar faces that I see here. Little bit about some of the clients here in Canada and in the US that I have worked with. You can see some of the logos here. And excited to have Stars as one of the newest clients that I have brought on to peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer, new peer-to-peer, or peer-to-peer 3, as some of the inside folks know, is really new to Engaging Networks. And so they are the 5th client that I've brought on since it launched.
And I know I've been talking already, but I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Mike, and I'm our Canadian business development lead for Engaging Networks. I live in Montreal, and I'm like the total opposite of Maan in that I've not been a nonprofit fundraiser, digital data person. I come from a coaching background, and just really feel like I specialize in helping people in whatever transition they're going through. And we do a lot of that with our technology, help them guide them through that process. I'm learning fundraising, and I'm actually taking the really great program at George Brown. If anyone's ever gone through their courses, Claire Kerr, who's here, just a quick little plug, teaches digital strategies for charities and nonprofits. Come learn. I'm doing the Major Gifts and Campaigns class right now, which is taught by Colin Hennigar, who's the Chief Development Officer at Sacdalan Foundation. So some really great instructors, some really great smaller group settings. And for me, as kind of an outsider to learn from really folks like you is a lot of fun. And I think folks like you who haven't done those courses, you might have an interest in it as well. So that's a little bit about me. A little bit about Peer-to-Peer 3, because it rhymes. Peer-to-Peer is another module of Engaging Networks. So it's part of the integrated platform. It allows folks to take advantage of some of the other tools that are already there, like our donation processing forms, which are, you're going to see, very customizable. The email marketing tools as well are part of that as well. And getting data, basically, I mean, the peer-to-peer landscape is generally dominated by peer-to-peer point solutions, folks that only do DIY or event-based fundraising. You have something like a Team Raiser that's built out of Blackbaud. We're sort of built into that vein of being part of something that's bigger, and getting data out of peer-to-peer into the rest of your digital program is probably one of the big value propositions that I can think of when it comes to peer-to-peer. All of that data going to supporter records, which can then be the trigger for an automation, can be triggers for broadcast campaigns, SMS, email, etc. And we're going to talk about the flexibility piece as well, but that is something that we are sort of quasi-famous for. And Maan's done some really cool things with Stars in particular that you're going to get a chance to see. Reporting, obviously, across an individual fundraiser's campaign, or a team campaign, or a set of teams that are fundraising, representing an organization. All of that reporting can roll up into one place for folks to track.
Okay, let me stop real quick.
Yeah.
So, all hands to Mike, because like he last minute was asked to like present with me. So it wasn't until the partner dinner yesterday that like Mike actually like stepped in to present. So it was supposed to be Faison at first. So if you could just give him a round of applause.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. You were like, okay, let's do this, Maan, and like we don't have slides
Where's
yet,
that slide
but let's get it together.
We're very much going to be sort of narrative based here. I think when it comes to peer-to-peer, it's a big project unto itself, right? It's not like you're just spinning up a one-time donation page, a standalone campaign. There's a really big programmatic aspect to peer-to-peer, and moving to a new peer-to-peer platform and building that out can be a big project unto itself.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the STARS experience, why they came over, and what the transition was like?
Show of hands, how many of you have existing or at least have had a peer-to-peer campaign on your Engaged Networks platform or outside of Engaged Networks platform?
50-50?
Okay, 65 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Okay, good.
65,
good.
35.
Yeah. Okay, so as you all know, peer-to-peer could be used for events, DIYs, walkathons, tribute campaigns I've done with ALS Canada. There's so many ways to do peer-to-peer fundraising. And so when STARS came to me, this was an exciting project because it was a radiothon, and I've never done like a radiothon campaign. So it was just one more thing that I can like at least try to do something fun. I'm gonna start. So STARS stands for Shock Trauma Air Rescue Foundation. Had to write that down. They're a Canadian nonprofit air ambulance organization that delivers critical care to patients in emergencies using helicopters, planes, and ground ambulances. So the critical care on the air radiothon happened for 2 days. It ran April 6th to 7th of this year, so that was really just last week. It had over 90 radio stations across all Canadian provinces. It featured, which we'll go through in a bit, some VIP patients. So if you go to their landing page, you're gonna see some very important patients that they have. So based on those landing pages, you can then go into their fundraising pages. And it also has like a standard peer-to-peer general donation page. So some numbers. They raised $488,000 over 2 days. The goal is $525,000. The numbers are not final yet because it was only last week. But I'd like to say that there were 816 donors that donated to the landing pages. So what was the fun, different thing that I did for this peer-to-peer campaign is when they came to me, for those that are using the new peer-to-peer tools, some of the areas are not fully customizable yet. So like if you go to like the dedicated fundraiser page, it didn't have like a lot of ability to customize, but it does have a script. It has a script add-on, and so we were able to add some scripts to do customizable images based on the sponsors of that fundraiser. So we had different VIP pages that had different sponsors to those VIP pages. So they had customizable sponsor logos on those VIP pages. We were also able to, if Noel's here, add a donor role to the main landing page of the page. There is a capability for leaderboards for teams and individuals, but currently still couldn't do just like out of the box like a donor role. But we just did an API call to do the donor role, so you could display the donor role on the main donation page, on the main landing page. Other fun things.
There was the specific person that you're sort of campaigning for. So if you've made a gift, it's like there's an actual image representing the person, firefighter, helicopter pilot, paramedic that you're actually working with.
Yeah, so more customizations into the VIP page. So it's not just the name that shows, basically highlighting like the profile photo. And I think it did it for peer-to-peer too, but we did additional customizations on the dedicated pages for peer-to-peer 3. Sponsor pages, we had a carousel at the bottom with there were 90 sponsors, so it was very specific to like based on the pages, the different sponsors would show in the carousel. So again, scripted carousels based on those dedicated pages. That's basically the gist of it. If you want to look at the slides, it will be on your...
It's in the Whova app.
It will be on your Whova app.
You can actually download all of the slide decks from today's sessions. What was it like? What would you say are some of the big learnings from just moving into the peer-to-peer new platform, STARS experience? Can you talk a little bit about what the learnings were and where they might go from here?
Yeah, it's not the first time I've moved from the previous one to this, so I already had expectations of what to use. The one thing that super easy is that your current page builder donation pages are gonna work for your peer-to-peer. And so when you set up peer-to-peer, you just go peer-to-peer, and then you can actually like select which templates you're gonna use. You can just pick your donation pages right up. And that's what I did. So on a regular donation page, then I added customization that had the face and the name of the very important person.
I love that. I'm going to go just take a look, see what we've got in terms of questions. There have been so many that have come in. And
there's also the marketing tools email capability, because the previous peer-to-peer, I don't know if you used it, it's all in HTML. So with the new peer-to-peer tools, you can just bring in your marketing tools templates and then kind of just set up your email notifications. We're going to look at questions, and then happy to like sidebar pull me, and I can also like do a demo.
And we do have some questions coming in that we'll start off on now. So we'll kind of go back and forth on that. What do you feel like is one peer-to-peer 3 or new peer-to-peer feature that clients underutilize?
The donor role, I think, because I don't think it's it's not explained as much that you could still do the API calls into your peer-to-peer pages.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do the more sort of static leaderboards of how teams are doing, but that sort of more interactive experience of, hey, I'm seeing a number pop up on my screen. People are doing this.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit
so
more
it's
of
like
that
the
experience.
live donor. Hey, it's already showing. Yay! So yeah.
Oh, amazing. We don't know how that happened, but we'll roll with it.
Rolling.
We'll kind of go back and forth then between our slides and questions. For you, what's one wish list tool you hope to see as the peer-to-peer module continues to develop?
It's not one. Put me on the spot, man. One thing that I really would like is customizable profile backgrounds for the for the individual, and then maybe just allowing source code. Noel, are you there? Just on the individual page, because just from allowing the source code for us to put embeddable images, videos, and all that, to just like let us do it.
Yeah, sort of bringing that storytelling part to a campaign.
There's Noel. I called you like 4 times.
Noel's going to speak a little bit later on today when we go to our roadmap session. But really, long story short, is the product manager who develops peer-to-peer now is new to our product team after spending a great stint with our support folks, and brings a really great user perspective to where we're going with peer-to-peer. And we're actually really, really excited for what Noel's been doing already. And she's going to tell you more about what's to come. How was, a question for you, how was your conversion from peer-to-peer first-time donor to, I'm going to say, second gift in the annual fund? And were you, this question is a little bit awkwardly written, were you targeting one-time gifts versus monthly with your donation pages themselves?
This specific one was just, I'm sorry if someone could clarify that question. Because it was a radiothon, it was really designed for one-time gifts. And there was a text to give option. There was a QR code that was on the radio station's website. So I think it was more on like getting as many one-time gifts. I will ask the client what their conversion plan is to put them into a welcome series to make them monthly donors.
Yeah, I feel like that's the gist of the question, is like, how well are we retaining these peer-to-peer participants? The story that I usually hear is like, we've got these fundraisers who come back year after year, they bring their friends, they themselves retain fairly well, but that one-time participant, how do we turn them into a regular supporter? I'm just curious, has anyone played with that motion of like, can we get a participant of a peer-to-peer campaign moved over to a monthly commitment? I'd be curious to know if anyone succeeded in doing that.
So I could speak from a different client's perspective. I will say that your source coding, and make sure that like you're really using your origin sources intentionally for any of these one-off campaigns. I had a Route 66 campaign, and I presented about it in Washington, D.C. last year, and it was highly effective. But because it was such a rushed project, we were not able to create like that dedicated welcome series. And so we really did see like a big drop of unsubscribes, because what happened was they ended up kind of just getting everything like all at the same time, which I think, turned off some of the donors because it was more an influencer-based campaign. So origin sourcing, dedicated welcome series, and then put them into the journey that you have planned with your strategic team.
Awesome. Another question coming off of this sort of, what comes next, or like a different kind of campaign. We've talked about the fact that peer-to-peer supports tribute fundraising. Can you share about that and other clients that use tributes within peer-to-peer?
We set up a tribute campaign for ALS Canada. I think that launched a year and a half ago, or if not 2 years. And this peer-to-peer tool, as I've advocated for, allows you to actually create tribute pages and not have, if it's a tribute page and they make a gift in that tribute page, who's familiar with the FIM transaction? Raise your hand, or that's a trivia question.
Trivia question.
So it's fundraising in memoriam. Why does that matter? If you're creating regular donation pages, it creates an FIM row if it's an in honor or an in memory gift. And so also with these peer-to-peer pages, your in memoriam, your tribute page also creates an FIM row, which helps in the data piece when you're doing exports. So I want to thank Engaging Networks for making that happen.
Yeah, another sort of powerful informer of segmentation for sure. Let me just see here. Is there a comprehensive peer-to-peer API integration and customization resource to help with advanced development of peer-to-peer pages? That is a great 202 level question.
That's a great EN question.
I could take a little bit of that. So we have a developer site that I think it's developer.engagingnetworks.net. But that is where all of our bulk and REST API documentation lives. It's a pretty good site for...
Pretty good site, yeah.
That would be the starting point that I would recommend folks check out. And I know that Hani and Noel will probably talk to this a little bit later on, but continuing to kind of open up some things from a peer-to-peer API standpoint, stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah, no, we'll highlight, if you haven't looked at that developer site for Engaging Networks, it's super useful, even for those that are starting and just trying to get know like your way around transaction types. It's all there. It's one of like my bookmark kind of key websites on top of the support website.
It's the page that like the one IT person on all of our demos will, like, they'll come out of the woodwork for 30 seconds to ask a question, and they'll be like, where's the API docs? And they get this page, and I never hear from them ever again because they're really satisfied
yeah, it's
with
awesome.
the content.
Angelo's always like, Maan, here you go. I'm like, oh yeah.
We've done a good job, and kudos to our devs who have worked on that. Did the majority of the gifts, going back to stars for a second, did the majority of the gifts come from the Radiothon, or did you also use other channels, email, paid media, et cetera, to kind of reinforce the peer-to-peer campaign?
Yes, it was an ongoing, this is like I'm not sure how many years this has been ongoing, but this is a big fundraiser for them. So they've used all aspects of fundraising and reach. Don't think that text to give has been turned on with Engaging Networks yet, but
SMS piece is coming later. I'll let our product folks take that one. There's a product related question here about peer-to-peer being available in Canadian and French. Comme quelqu'un qui parle français, that one's actually a really important one. It's not there yet. Noel and Hani will elaborate a bit.
But Hannah, were we able to translate? Yes. So we have another. Dapple Creative was able to create a peer-to-peer page that's translated in French. And so if you also want to talk to them, Hannah.
Awesome. We got a couple more minutes and a few more questions, and then we'll call it a day at that. Here's a long question. To your question about turning event donors into regular donors, organizations need to create a very tightly followed campaign that connects the impact of the gift because they didn't give to the cause, they gave to their friend. Very good point. And we need to build reality into the strategy and set expectations, which may be too low, but not impossible. That was more of a comment. Did anyone want to elaborate on that just live from the floor, kind of bravely? Yeah. I appreciate that. And I think that larger picture of how does peer-to-peer become something that we grow more beyond just a peer-to-peer event itself is such a big question that a lot of orgs that I talk to are asking.
I do like that because you need to set expectations for peer-to-peer campaigns that some of these could be one-off donors, but it's really just like having, other than setting expectations, creating like a strategy for the true like first-time visitor, right? And how to funnel them to become true donors or true activists for your org.
I just think because a lot of organizations see it as like having received the gift, but they're like, oh, these are a donor. No, they're not a donor. They may have given you money, but they're not a donor. So think about them more like actually a lead or.
Yeah, and so like talking outside stars, but in a way, Stars is a tribute page because these are very important patients, right? And so they're giving on, they're giving because they care about these patients. The thought process could also just be maybe create something similar for next year, and if just like highlighting that same patient or where that patient is, and so just really creating like a more dedicated flow or journey for each supporter.
Cool. One last question, and then we have a break for the morning. Everyone's been amazing. We've been in chairs for a little while now. Are donors, I think I know the answer to this, but I don't want to assume, are donors running any customizable fundraising pages that they themselves are taking ownership of or can customize, or is it more of a fixed campaign page?
Yeah, so they get notified. So these VIP folks get notified if someone joins or someone donates. This one was a fixed campaign, but they have other peer-to-peer pages that we launched as well that donors can set up.
Amazing. Cool. We're going to pause there. Appreciate everyone. Maan, thank you for taking all of these questions from folks.
Yes.
Give it up for Maan.
Thanks, everyone.